Baja coast of Mexico offers visitors opportunities found very few places on Earth. From some of the finest offshore fishing found anywhere, to an astonishing variety of wildlife, Baja has it all. And actress Nia Peeples and professional photographer George Lepp were ready to document it on film. Nia and George boarded the Searcher in the San Diego harbor to begin their journey down the Baja California coast in search of the implausible wildlife that is found in the warm waters of the Pacific Ocean. When it comes to exploring Baja, Captain Art Taylor's more than 20 years of experience is invaluable. Art brings a guiding philosophy of respect aboard the Searcher, respect for the sea, and respect for the wildlife. And he understands the importance of a gentle hand at the helm when moving among rare marine mammals. Along with his wife, Celia, a trained and experienced naturalist, they are one of the few U.S. businesses allowed special permission from the Mexican government to operate natural history cruises into Mexican waters. Various seals and sea lions flourish along the Baja coast, including the elephant seals. The elephant seal is the largest seal on the planet. Males can reach 16 feet and weigh up to 2 tons, while females are typically around 8 or 9 feet and weigh half a ton. Lumbering on land, but amazingly graceful in water, elephant seals will dive to almost 5,000 feet below the ocean's surface, deeper than any other seal, to feed on squid, their favorite source of nourishment. By 1911, virtually all of the elephant seals were killed by seal hunters. Their numbers had dwindled to less than 100 animals when the Mexican government put a ban on killing these animals. Now, their numbers have reached almost 80,000, most living on the Pacific Islands along the Baja coast.
Pretty safe spot. We can be right directly above them, and we can look right down inside of them. So go ahead and let's come across here and go right over here. The black, see the little black ones here? These are all the pups. Lots and lots of pups this year. And when you're looking, what you've got here is a whole bunch of browns. You've got some dark blacks and so forth. There's not a lot of color.
Right.
So what you're looking for here are expressions. You're looking for, they open up a mouth, you get a nice pink mouth or something like that. So you're actually looking for little portraits here, and you're right above them. You've got a nice 75 to 300 millimeter zoom. So that's how to solve this problem here, is to, you've got a grouping of faces here, or you can zoom in and just get a single face, and if they open their mouth, if you get 2 males, here's a big male right here. If he opens his mouth, then you've got some pretty good shots there. That one who's got his mouth wide open, there's your shot. Zoom right in on that face. Reaction there to the male, too. These guys will give you some commentary yet, too. Everybody's screaming here today. Hey.
What are you trying to say?
You can actually just sit in one place like this, and you've got so much going on in front of you. I can take my tripod.
Just sit here. Now, are you shooting your camera on manual or?
Now, I use a combination here of some manual types of settings, as well as I like to make some of the decisions myself. But I'm actually what we would call aperture priority. I choose the aperture, which tells me how much depth I'm going to have, and then the camera will set the shutter speed for me.
Whoa,
look at these babies going here. This is great. This is great.
These two rearing up here. Yep. Now, I noticed earlier, as I was shooting, that the little flash just sort of popped up, telling me that I think I needed more light, which I wouldn't have thought about because I'm too busy looking at what's going on.
Well,
and I guess the sun changed.
It's thinking for you, yes. The light did change. It got a little darker for a moment. And what happened, go ahead and just push the little button right there. You see how there's a built-in flash here. And if you're close enough to the animals like this, and it's a little dark, and these are quite dark animals, and if the sun comes over it, it's popping up, and it's going to add a little bit more light to it, maybe put a little highlights in their eyes.
Now, what's the difference between this flash, like how much light this flash gives and how much light that flash?
This, as you can see by the size here, that's all built in. It's really great for little portrait things fairly close. So if those animals are within maybe 6 to 10 feet, it'll help a little bit. This one will go out about 20 feet, 30 feet, so it's quite a bit more powerful.
Now, can I add another flash onto this if I wanted to?
You would have to put this down. We could actually, you can see right away, that these cameras are pretty interchangeable with the different parts and things. So you would then have...
Thank you, George.
Yeah. Now you can get the great
Now
shot.
I have a big flash.
Now you've got the big flash.
Oh my goodness.
You can see that it adds a little extra light. It's just another accessory that will improve the pictures a little bit further.
So then, but then it's not automatic for me.
It would still be automatic. The camera would still give you the exact amount of lighting that you're looking for. I got 3 pups and the female right there.
I see, yeah, the male's just waiting there, huh? Oh, the pup.
Okay, big fight, big fight.
Oh, wow. Whoa.
You notice how this one male over here just...
Backed off.
When the Canon Photo Safari returns, we hunt for gray whales off the beautiful Pacific coast of Baja California.
Is brought to you by Canon, Kodak.
The warm waters and protected lagoons of the Baja coast are practically made for whales and dolphins. And oftentimes, hundreds of dolphins will surround boats making their way down the coast. At times, these pods can contain as many as 10,000 animals, and they put on quite a show.
Oh my God.
You got a square mile of dolphins out here. Are you on your action mode?
No, I better
Check
be.
that. Okay, there you go.
Now just follow them in the water.
Follow them in the water. You got to see a little bit of white underneath there, and when they come up, that's when you nail them.
Woo!
All right.
Look at them, they're everywhere.
I'll bet you've never seen this many dolphins before in your life.
Never.
Ever. This is amazing.
Look at them everywhere. They're everywhere.
George Lepp has spent the majority of his life in pursuit of images that portray the natural world he sees through the lens of his camera. As one of the finest nature and wildlife photographers in the world, his work is found in many magazines and books, including his most recent photographic instructional book, Beyond the Basics 2. The marine animal that fascinates most visitors to the Baja coast is the gray whale, which migrates some 12,000 miles a year between its feeding grounds above the Arctic Circle and its calving grounds in the Pacific lagoons of southern Baja California. The gray whale reaches 35 to 50 feet in length at maturity and can weigh up to 40 tons. Its skin is almost black in color at birth, but mottling caused by barnacles and barnacle scars imparts an overall gray tone to the portion of the animal exposed when it breathes. Currently numbering around 21,000, the grays spend their summers feeding in the seas adjacent to Siberia and Alaska, where the long Arctic days result in highly productive marine growth. Swimming at an average of 4 knots, the whales cover their 6,000-mile journey to the south in about 2 months. By early January, they begin arriving in the bays and lagoons on the Pacific side of the Baja. Photographing whales is a tough assignment, but George Lepp has become very adept at this task.
Wow.
Nia, one of the tricks that professionals do is if you see like we're coming up to a bunch of whales right now, glance down and see what number you're on. And if you're down here like 30, 33 or something like that, you want to quickly just forget about the last couple of pictures, put a new roll in so you're ready to go.
You know, they caught me yesterday with elephant seals. The minute the males would start fighting, I was at the end of my roll and I was like just changing and you guys are shooting pictures.
You saw the whole backside of the underside of the fluke? That's the fingerprint that I was telling you about, that every one of these whales is distinctive by where the barnacles may be at one time, or maybe there's been a killer whale that's raked on them or something like that. It gives them a very distinctive look. Here comes another one. Could be really nice with the sparkles like that. Hey, you were right on it. That's good. Here comes a fluke. Here comes a fluke.
Now, you set me up a certain way with this. You have to tell me why.
Why do you have the equipment that you have? Well, the equipment that you have is the best technical gear that you could possibly have for photographing whales, which are very elusive. You never know where exactly they're going to be. So we have a zoom lens.
And this goes 75
to 300.
300. Now, one thing that you told me that really helped me out a lot was when I'm looking through the viewfinder, to not be zoomed in so much, to be out all the way, and when you catch something,
Correct.
then you zoom in on it, because
it's so hard to find exactly where that subject's going to be if you're narrowed down with the 300 millimeters. So by having you start with the 75 and then you see that the action's going to happen right out there, you can quickly zoom into it and find it immediately. This autofocus is so fast. The image stabilization is helping you as you're moving and doing things. It stabilizes the camera quite a bit.
I keep turning my head because I keep hearing this.
You're hearing
whale
whales
back
that are
here.
doing things here behind us.
The gray is the easiest of all whales to view since it frequents shallow coastal waters. Approaching whales is not allowed, but at times, the whales will actually come right up to the small boats, and the experience is incredible.
That was a screaming whale. Oh, there they are, together. Oh, it looked at you there. Its eye came all the way up out of the water.
Did I miss the eye?
Oh, there you go. Good eye, good timing.
Nia Peeples is one of those very rare artists with unlimited talents. An award-winning singer and songwriter, a film and television actress, a VJ, a choreographer, and the host of her own television series have kept her very busy and in demand for years. Having grown up in Southern California, the ocean has always been a part of Nia's life. So being in a small boat in pursuit of gray whales was an experience much to her liking.
So on either side of the boat.
There, obviously, there's another one. We're so busy jumping each other's way here, we can't. Holy smokes.
I was trying to move away so you could get your picture.
That's fine. You can see him right down below the water down here.
Read more about Canon Photo Safari in Outdoor Photographer, the magazine for scenics, wildlife, travel, and sports. Subscribe now and receive a free photo tips guide. Call 1-800-4PHOTOS.
Not all of the photographic opportunities in Baja, California come in the form of animals. George and Nia found an untarnished piece of sand covered with shells.
Nia, there's more things to photograph here in Baja, California than just whales. We've got some beautiful shells on this pristine beach. No one can take any shells away from here, so we've got lots of things that you don't find these kind of beaches in the United States anymore. We've got a beautiful little turban shell here. Now your camera, the settings we've got set on here are to give you a little bit more depth of field. It'll use a smaller aperture and a slower shutter speed, but you still got this image stabilizer lens. We're still using the same lens we use for whales. We're going to put the shell sort of in one of the thirds and let those little lines of sand help you out here with your composition. Notice, as we're working here, we got a little bit of a breeze blowing by us here. If you look at off in the distance here, you can see there's a little layer of sand blowing here. Boy, you don't want to lay your equipment down on the ground around here. I made the comment earlier, bracket the composition. That means to look at it, we shot it like this, maybe you go a little ways off to the side and try it a little different. So bracketing the composition means trying different angles.
Different angles.
I'm sure you've got a different name for that in the film industry, but I'm sure
called confusion.
Confusion.
I don't think anything is intention in my...
Okay. Okay, Nia, here's a whole nother concept for you. You got lots and lots of shells, and they go on off of here. The light is nicely off to the side. And what we want to do is we want to show what the shells look like that are real close to you, and you want to show how many are here. So you want to show both of those things at the same time. Now notice you've got three nice colorful shells right here, and then everything goes up there. So what you're going to do is you're going to set your lens for its widest angle at 28 millimeters.
Yep, okay.
Okay? And what you want to do is you want to come down into it and come down so it's pretty close. You can still be in focus. We're going to bring you down to about f/16. So everything from, I would say, about 1.5 feet on out is going to be, so you want to stay about 1.5 feet. So you can come all the way into right here.
Right.
You see what the shells look like, and you see how many are here. You're telling two things at the same time. I would do it both ways, both horizontal and vertical.
Now, you had said earlier that this is really good light. Why is that? What makes good
I said
light
this was really good light because it's directional. We have just a soft shadow. If the sun wasn't behind a soft cloud right now, what we'd be having is real heavy shadows. So these are soft shadows, but still enough light to give us good color and directional shape and form to our subjects. Now if you get even lower, and look at the highlights. Look at the highlights. Well, that's really nice. Now we're going to get wet here, but we need a bigger wave. There it is. There, you got bubbles around it. You got the sand being pulled out from underneath it. It's pretty nice. What do you think?
This is neat. I mean, you can look at this like there's a shore and there's shells, and then when you come down and you look specifically, it just makes it that much more beautiful.
Well, there's one of the things I say about nature photography, and it makes you actually see nature a lot better. You're looking closely at things. You're looking at the whole life's history of whales and things here. So nature photography brought you here, and it's like a window into the world.
It is gorgeous. It's wonderful. And we leave the shell.
Okay, we'll leave the shell. You're right.
This was an awesome trip for me. For me to be able to experience what you guys experience all the time, the whales and the elephant seals, the dolphins, the shells, all of it was amazing to me. And to be able to see it from your perspective with the detail.
Well, nature photography could bring us here. And this is not my first trip with the Searcher. It's been another great trip. We appreciate you, again, all your hospitality.
George, it was a pleasure having you aboard. Thank you very much.
So if anyone wants a great, educational, awesome trip, you gotta come for the Searcher. I want to come to the next trip. Where does it go?
The Sea of Cortez, it's on the other side of Baja, and you see different kinds of whales and dolphin and different kinds of plant life and beautiful islands, and there's snorkeling
over there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going, and I'm bringing my camera.
All right.
Adios.
For the ultimate Baja adventure, call Searcher at 619-226-2403 for more information.